Rick, how are you?
Hello, hello. What's up, everybody?
Oh, they're all on mute, but yep, they're all excited. We've even
Right?
had, yeah, we've got people who are up, dedicated fans. It's 1 o'clock in the morning where they are, and they're here just for
Wow.
you. So, yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well, good night and good morning to all.
so how are you today?
Very good. How are you, Belinda?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm excited now that you're here. So,
Oh, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for setting this up. I mean, I'm terrible at this stuff, so I just figured you came at the right time when I felt like it's good to kind of connect with folks, especially during this time. Like it's kind of worth it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we've got some of your fans from, as I say, the UK, Philippines, and then in the States, Texas, Michigan, a whole lot of other places that I didn't know where they were, so I had to get the world map out just to check. But yeah, you got fans all over the world.
That's so beautiful, man. So much love to y'all. Thank you for hanging out.
Now, I'm going to ask one of your fans who is up bright and, well, no, it's 1 o'clock in the morning there. So, Paul, I'm going to unmute Paul and he's going
Yeah.
to ask the first question. He's a dedicated fan. As I say, I think it's 1 o'clock in the morning there. Paul, how are you and what's your
Yeah,
question?
so,
What's
I'm
up,
really good,
Paul?
thanks. Hey man, a bit
How
nervous
you
now
doing, man?
actually. I'm good, yourself?
Good, man. You don't look sleepy.
No, it's probably because the hype. Nah, just kidding. Wide awake. I was just gonna ask you, like, if you've probably been asked before, but I was gonna say, if you could pick any other superhero to be in the Arrow, who would you choose and why?
In the Arrow universe?
Yeah.
Uh, hmm. That's a good question. I mean, if we're talking DC, I have others that I would like, but if we're specifically keeping it in the Arrow universe, um, probably Deathstroke. That seems like a really great character to play. You know,
Definitely.
I liked his journey. You know, plus I love everything about, in terms of like his abilities and stuff and where they took that. So that to me seemed like the most fun. Aside from obviously being the Green Arrow, but I think Deathstroke's gonna be just like just like a lot of fun. If we're
Yes,
talking like the
agreed.
DC world though, I think like Robin or something like that. Just like a real
Really?
like stripped down raw version of Robin would be fun to play.
That would be
Yeah,
pretty sick, yeah.
yeah. I mean, because I have been I have been a DC fan. I was mostly like Marvel, but I definitely have my share of like Batman comics and stuff like that. And in high school, there were like all these like new Robin, issues that they were releasing at the time, and I just liked how they were like taking him down of a darker path. So doing something like that would be very dope.
Yeah, I think
But
that'd be insane.
I think we could use a Latino Robin. You know what I mean? Switch it up a little bit, right? Yeah, we need
Maybe
that.
we can get that happening.
Yes. Dope, man. So where are you about at 1 a.m.? Where are you about?
I'm in the UK at the moment.
UK, okay.
Yeah, just
Hey,
chilling out there.
yeah, man. And you, what do you do?
Currently at the moment, I don't actually work. I used to, but because of like my
COVID.
mental health. Yeah, but
Oh,
also my mental health. I suffer OCD and anxiety, so
oh yeah.
I I'm unable to currently work. So I just do stuff around the house, help our family, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Well, God bless you, man. I think you taking advantage of like making sure you're healthy first is important, man. That's great.
Yeah, I
You
really
know,
appreciate that.
of course, man. I think we all, as with everything that's happening in the world, you can feel rest assured that you're not alone in this whole idea of like dealing with your mental health and stuff like that. Because I deal with it myself, man. And maybe
Yeah,
not a severity and magnitude of yours, but I also believe like it's this notion where like if we don't manage what we have, regardless of what we're dealing with, you know, it can definitely sprout to become worse. You know, it can definitely kind of debilitate us and take us off the path in terms of purpose, you know, and so I applaud you for that, man, because at the end of the day, getting healthy the way is important, man. So, you know.
Yeah, that honestly means a lot.
Of
I really
course.
appreciate that. Big boost.
Yes, sir. That's what it's about, man. There's so much divide going on, man. We gotta like affirm each other, you know. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Absolutely, man. That's what this is about. You know, we do it to our children. You know, you want to affirm them and make them feel loved and assured that everything will be okay. And I think we've gotten away from that. You know, I think as human beings and as adults, like we don't do that enough. You know, nobody's really like affirming. It's like, yo, I think you're dope. Like you're gonna win. You're gonna be fine. You know, there's something powerful in that. You know, so we see that happen in kids, and so I think that's important, man. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this. You know, because I just felt like, you know, I'm sometimes very disconnected, you know, and I think it's because, like you said, you know, you got what you're going through, so I'm going through stuff as well. But it's like at the same time, man, it's like we're all in this together, you know, we're all in this together. So that's what's important.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
It's
just the best way to be, you know, got to be positive, got to, you know, support each other, and even things like this, small things like this, just getting to chat with someone like you're a fan of or something. It's like a really big endorphin rush. It makes you feel good. It's just
that's love, man.
Means a lot.
I would listen if I was able to do this as a kid or as a young adult, like in terms of like, because I was huge into wrestling and stuff, and so you know, to fathom that, you know, you could have this kind of contact with folks, you know, in terms of their career and what they're doing would have been mind-boggling for me back in the 80s. It would have just made me like explode. So, you know, I just look at it from a perspective of like, well, yeah, why not? You know? Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. Well,
thank you, Paul.
Thanks for checking in with me, man.
Cool.
No problem, legend. Cheers.
And I must say, Rick, Paul has been awesome. He has been sharing this on his social media and Reddit, and and I've been in contact with him, so it's been very cool.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
man. So the next question we have got is from Khadija, and I hope I pronounced her name correctly. And she is in Battle Creek.
Where are you at?
I'm in Michigan. I'm in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Battle Creek. Crazy.
Yep.
I did a TV show called Battle Creek. It was called Battle
I remember
Creek.
That. It was based on my hometown, so that's where I am.
That's right. How you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Where you walking to?
I'm in the park. I'm at the park.
You just taking laps?
Yep. Plus it's my cousin's, we're letting off balloons for my cousin because he died a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep, he was gun violence. That's all I'm going to say. So.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's terrible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, on another note, I mean, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
You know, just hanging out with you guys. That's making me happy to just connect with y'all and, you know, see how y'all doing, you know, getting the lay of the land. I mean, how you been handling COVID?
I've been all right. I mean, I'm grateful that I can still work. So, I mean, I was laid off for a little bit, but I got to work a little bit over the summer, so.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I work with kids, so. We have to be very cautious about that, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the $1 million question now is how do we get the kids back into school and when do we get them back to school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we, you know, out here, because I'm in California, so, you know, we have our superintendent who's like kind of creating like a guideline, a protocol for bringing the kids back. So it's looking like it's all starting to come into place, but we'll see, right? I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
What's your
Man, so
question?
you
Yeah,
got a
what's your question?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, you good? We hanging out. We hanging out.
Okay. My question is, what was it like working with Samuel L. Jackson and Coach Carter? Because I love Sam. He's one of my favorite actors.
The meanest person ever. The meanest. He was an asshole. He was hating me. Nah, he was a sweetheart. You know, Sam was actually, like I said, going back to affirming, like he was one of those people that was, in his own way, affirmed me, like, you know, was very supportive, was very, inspirational. And like, you know, he was kind of like the cool uncle, you know, like always cracking jokes, and like, we just always had a good time. And, you know, Coach Carter, like, it was like so many of us, right? It was so many of us on a basketball team. So it was like all these young guys playing basketball all day, cracking jokes on each other. We cracked a lot of jokes on Channing Tatum, poor guy. We definitely let him have it, you know. But Rob Brown, my buddy Rob Brown, can attest to that. Like, it was just basketball and jokes. And Sam would just, you know, every time if we had a scene with Sam, he would come in and he'd have his fair share of jokes to step in right there. Of course, with the motherfuckers to go with it, right? Because you can't tell a joke without saying the word motherfucker. But it's an amazing. It sounds funny as hell. But he's a sweetheart, you know. I mean, Sam has always been somebody who, like, and even more so, like, you know, he had knew at the time that I was doing music and stuff like that, and he had a lot of advice for me. You know, he was very, he cared, you know, he cared a lot about my career and stuff like that. And so he's that kind of person, man. And you know what? For the first time, because I was already in the industry about, I would say, 6-7 years before I did that. About 5, 6 to 7 years. And at that time, getting close to him and seeing the way he worked and his process really left a good mark on me in terms of understanding, you know, what it's like being at that level and the responsibility that it is, you know. And I think there is a big responsibility in terms of, like, when you're at that level and you set the tone for where you work, you know. And I think that goes along with anything you do in life, right? If you're in a position, not necessarily of power, but that you're in a position where you can control the energy, it's important to be mindful of that. And I think his energy, although sometimes probably erratic, but it's in a good way. Oh, who's that? Who's that?
I'm talking to my cousins. I'm sorry.
What's up, cousin? Oh, yeah. No, don't say sorry. You in the park, so it's gonna be a party.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah.
We're all out here, so it's just all family out here.
Is it cold over there?
No, it's been good. It's been warm all day, pretty much.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. I mean, like, long story short, Sam is the man. Like, I'd work with him a million more times. So much fun.
Cool. Thank you, Khadija.
Thank you.
So Rick, now we've got a question from Anthony. So we'll just unmute Anthony. And
yeah. Anthony, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good. Long-time fan, man. I'm trying not to geek out real quick. But
Love, man. All love, Anthony. Where you calling from? Where you zooming from?
I'm in Ohio, right next to Columbus.
Love it.
Yeah,
so
it's... No. No. I live here currently, but I'm from Florida, and then I lived there about 10 years, and then lived in Tennessee about 10 years before I joined the Marines. So my roots are in Florida, so I'm a Heat fan, Gator fan, Dolphins fan, unfortunately. So, but I, like I said, big fan ever since old school, and one of my all-time movies, Coach Carter, is one of my all-time favorites. My question for you is, I three, but I guess the one I'll ask is I was gonna ask about your nickname Spanish and Old School, but I don't want to do that. I want to talk about the new show that I think you're casted to do. I think it's Langdon. I don't know if that's the right name. So
Yes.
I was a fan of the Tom Hanks movies when he came out with the Da Vinci Code, stuff like that. So has that started production yet? How have you taken to that being coming off Arrow and going into a totally different universe? How has that been for you?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, we haven't shot anything yet. Due to COVID, we were scheduled to shoot before it became a pandemic. And once they called it a pandemic, it shut us down. And so, obviously shut the whole industry down. And so it set us back. But now that there are protocols in place and there are other shows that are shooting now, we've gotten the green light to go ahead and work. And so, Langdon is basically based on The Lost Symbol, which is one of Dan Brown's, I believe his first novel, one of his first novels, in terms of Robert Langdon, the characters, who's part of that world. Yeah. And so my character is called Nunez, and Nunez is a Capitol policeman. And so people who have read the book know that it's based on, this mystery that he's going to solve in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. And so the show's going to be based on that. And, it's going to be some funny stuff, some really good material there that people are going to enjoy. It's going to be for NBC. I don't know how many episodes we're going to do yet. That's a good question. But we're going to lay out the pilot first, and then hopefully get into the season early next year. So that's basically the plan,
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it, getting to do something. I met Dan Brown when I was in Toronto before they shut us down. Seemed like a great guy, really smart in terms of like doing all his research for the books. Because I was curious to know, like, how did he do that stuff, and he was quick to say, like, everything that, he's ever written about those books is 100% true, and so he takes that information to create, the fictional storyline, but there's also like a thread line that I love because it just seems like he's having another conversation, in terms of writing those books. So, because the whole Knights Templar and things like that and Da Vinci Code is just so fascinating. So, it's just a brilliant guy, and I think the show's gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome! I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, we have a guy named Ashley Zuckerman who's had a pretty cool role in his TV show on HBO called Succession. And he's gonna be our Robert Langdon. He'll play like a young.
Okay. So like a young man, Robert.
Young Robert, exactly.
Nice. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this for your fans. Sorry, I keep looking over. I got a 5-year-old, and she's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she's playing on my Xbox Minecraft. She keeps trying to peek over here and look, and I'm like, no.
Yes. No, so I love that. Well, if my daughter was here, she'd be front and center, like trying to just say hi and talk to everyone, and that's who she is.
Yeah, she's great. So I have a 5-year-old and a 16-year-old, but I've been a longtime fan. I'm a big movie guy, TV guy ever since the Marines and some things I've dealt with in the past. I've been diagnosed with like PTSD, anxiety, depression. So it's movies and TV just like get my mind away from stuff a lot of the time. So I'm always watching new stuff. Always. It's been hard not being able to go to the movie theater because that was my second home. So, but it's good. I have a great wife. So my wife is the backbone of the relationship. So that's and then my faith in God. It's as long as I'm getting help, I feel good. So
amen. I love that. Amen, man. Sure. Yeah. Prayers to you, bro, and blessings and all that. Family. Man.
Thank you, man.
It sounds like you on top of it, man, and I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I it took me a while to admit, you know, yeah, I have issues. You know, I got back and my wife was like, "No, there's something wrong with you," and I'm like, "No, something's up with you, not me."
Right.
And but you know, it was just a matter of deniability. But it's all getting better slowly, and she's been there from day one, so we're getting through it. So, but like I said, with a lot of your shows, I was a big fan. I love Coach Carter. I still, to this day, will turn on Reaper every now and then and watch that. You and Sock, oh man. So people, a lot of people don't even know about the show, but it was one of the best. I mean, the comedy in that was awesome. So I appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to your new projects. Gonna always check out what you do. So I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Blessings to you. Stay safe out there, and I'll bow out and let somebody else get in here and get some action.
I love, yo, Anthony, stay up, man. You're doing a great job, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
You're gonna be healthy, man. You're gonna get good.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Rick, I've got a question for you. What's on your bucket list?
My bucket list. Ah, man. I think I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think skydiving.
Oh,
Only
what?
because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no.
Don't want to do it. And it was the thing, because you sent that question to me, and I was like, I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to answer that question. But then now I let myself answer it, and I'm like, darn it is on my bucket list. Yeah. I'm so afraid of it, but I know if I have to do something, I would probably try to do, just to say I did it, you know, and just to feel that. But I'll probably like pee on myself or something like that, just waiting to like get thrown out of a freaking plane. You know, I don't know.
So New Zealand is a beautiful place to go skydiving, so you'll have to come here.
Oh, well then that's where I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll do it then. If I'm shooting something in New Zealand, then it's done. I gotta do it.
Absolutely.
Watch me get the next thing in New Zealand.
Classic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rick. I know there's heaps of other people who want to ask some questions. So now we've got Gina, who's in Texas. So Gina, what's your question for Rick?
Hi, Rick. How are you? Thank you so much for talking to all of us.
Of course.
My
How you
question.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
My question is, if you weren't an actor, what would be your profession?
Yeah, I thought about that, and here's the thing. It's like I never considered anything else, which was weird, right? As a kid, I threw every egg that I had in that basket of acting. But I will say, maybe I have to say is music, because I did dabble in music for such a long time, and I still, like, to this day, like, analyze it and listen to it, and almost like if I'm running a loop of sort. So I feel like would I be like maybe, you know, like someone running a company for music or whatever, or like an A&R, or like, I don't know, something to do with music, you know, maybe production or something like that. But I just don't know, because everything that I've thought about has always been geared towards acting, and I've never given myself any other room to think of anything else, you know, which I thought, you know, I'm like, man, if acting never happened, I would have been forced to figure out life and figure out what am I supposed to do, you know. So I'm so grateful and thankful that, you know, acting was my purpose, because I literally was all I could think about, and all I do think about. So yeah, it's interesting. So I think it would be music. I mean, it'd be somewhere in there. Yeah.
And we could all use music, especially during this time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things, man, where it's like you need to find a way to disconnect, right? And sometimes, like, it's like, okay, I'm on Instagram a little much, or I'm on Twitter too much, or I'm watching something that I shouldn't be watching, or I'm like, you know, in a frustrated place right now because I just had an argument or something, I need to disconnect somehow and get healthy. And for me, like those little moments when I drive and run errands are kind of like a nice breath of fresh air for me, because I'll play something in a good mood. So that kind of helps me, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just ask myself, like, what's gonna get you in the right energy, you know? And that's what music does. And even for acting, like in terms of my acting, music is so important. You know, I use it, you know, to really find my characters, to kind of help me, to inspire me in terms of my characters. So, I mean, music's a big giant. When growing up as a kid, music was it was like another human being in my life. Music, you know, just hip hop, Spanish, salsa, all stuff was just like somebody that, you know, it, is that is that is that someone else? You know, is that anyone else here that does the thing?
Ooh, is that in your background, Gina? Oh,
Sorry.
Gina, is that in your background? The talking?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so. I had my headphones on.
Yeah.
Oh, have you got kids in the background?
In the other room, I have a 7-year-old, like
yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've got my 2 upstairs, Gina. They're upstairs.
So you know how it is.
Absolutely.
My 7-year-old is at dance class, so yeah, I hear you.
Tick.
Like I said, she would literally be here front and center trying to talk to all of you guys.
Like
Sure.
mine.
Yep. I love it.
Well, thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Gina.
Of course.
So Rick, the next question we've got is from actually one of my friends. So he's the only one on here that I actually went to school with. So Shannon.
Yeah.
We went to high school together, and he Facebooked me, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, "Join, Shannon. Where are you? How are you?"
Hey man, how's it going, Rick?
What's up, Jeremiah?
Hey, bro. Firstly, just thanks for this opportunity, bro. I'm very happy. Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to meet you, bro.
Cool, bro.
How you feeling? Everything good?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Some nerves getting into this first time kind of thing, just like everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. You know, I'm excited to connect with y'all. You know, I don't have my daughter here. I don't have my wife telling me to go do something. I'm just hanging out. So you know,
Cool, man.
I got some time. You know, I got some time to chill.
Nice, bro. Nice. If you do make it to New Zealand for filming, bro, I think you'd play a really great native New Zealand Māori, bro. You could pull it off.
If you think so, then it's on. Then I'm gonna put my my stuff in the hat to play one. You know, feel like I can.
Bro.
Love it. I mean, hey, you could pass for Puerto Rican too.
Salute.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Well, I kind of just wanted to know. I know there'd be a lot of Puerto Rican children, Dominican Republic children, who look up and aspire to you. Over the years, you've worked with like a lot of talent, Samuel L, YG, Playing on the Streets, bro. Love that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you're yet to share the screen with that maybe you looked up to or aspired to today in your career?
Yeah. So right now, my favorite actor is Viola Davis, and I just think that woman is so magical and so powerful, and you know, I just can't say enough about what I think of her as a person, but you know, and also as an actress, you know. And if I could do something now or today, or you know, I get blessed to work with her, that would just be amazing, because I just think she's incredible, you know. And I saw her in Widows. Obviously, I saw her in Doubt, and I thought she was incredible. But when I saw her in Widows, I was just kind of like, she's a movie star, you know. She just has this magnetism and like this power inside of her. And I think it's mostly because with acting, there's something actors bring to their characters that you can't teach an actor. It has to be in them, right? And I think the whole exploration of acting and like just diving into yourself and finding who you are and being naked for the role in order to really, you know, create this human being and make them come to life. You know, there's this thing about actors, and we see who they are when they work. I think the thing that impresses me about her and what I respect about her the most is her integrity. There's an integrity about this woman, and it, you know, it reminds me of my wife. My wife has very deep integrity, and with her, there's this strength and integrity about what she, you know, is fighting for in life. And I think that her characters ooze this fight that they have inside of them. And so for me, I want to work with people who have a purpose in terms of like bringing characters to life. And it would be a blessing to do that, you know? And so that's one person that I'm like, I gotta work with her. Gotta work with Viola. That would be amazing.
Nice, right? I like it. I like it.
Yep.
Cool.
There's a bunch more, but I feel like she deserves her flowers, you know? She's just incredible.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
See, Shannon, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Yes. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm about to let these people know I can play, you know what I mean? You know, person from New Zealand. You know, I can do that. Just
Yeah.
gotta get the accent down.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
The slang.
Rick, the next person we've got who'd like to ask a question is Nirvana. So Nirvana will just hopefully.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
So my mom, I'm
Where
sorry,
you zooming from?
I'm Zoom. Oh, Miami, Florida.
Ah, Miami, Florida. Love it.
Yes. And I had to quickly tell my mom she's in here as well. I had to tell her to join on in. She's
Tell
Vivian.
Mom. Yeah, tell my Vivian, come on down. Vivian, how you doing?
She's
I hear
muted.
you.
Also, I was gonna ask you real quick because me and my mom's favorite movie is Illegal Tender, and I feel like that movie is never really spoken about so much. But I wanted to ask you, how was it filming the movie Illegal Tender?
It was great, and I guess the most important feeling I get from remembering Illegal Tender was working with John Singleton, who passed away. May he rest in peace. You know, John was somebody who, you know, he's so smart in terms of filmmaking and like such a force. You know, he has so much energy. And I would always think, like, how does this man have so much energy? He was just such an energetic person. And he was excited to make this movie. You know, he wanted to make a Latino film. You know, he felt like, man, I think I could make a classic. You know, like there aren't too many Latino classic films. You know, and he wanted to make a movie that was gonna like, you know, something for our culture. You know, but also something that hopefully could transcend. But I think he cared mostly about creating content for the culture. And I think he was passionate about that, you know? And so, you know, we went to PR, and it was like being out there with Diego Calderon and like, you know, in his scene, in his world, and just being a part of that, like, was just magical, you know? Going to Isla Verde, you know, being in that energy and you know, I think the time before I was in Puerto Rico, I must have been like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9 years old. So then to finally come back to PR to shoot a film, which was sort of like my lead, you know, my first time being a lead in a film, and it was just surreal, you know, and so I had all these emotions inside of me, and at the same time respecting someone who's a legend like John Singleton, you know, and being in that moment with him was really awesome, and something that I'll never forget, you know. And I have friendships to this day I'm still really close with because of that film and the connections that we made and being a part of that film. And you know, it didn't fulfill everything, you know, that I wanted, but I was grateful that I was able to make those friendships and connections, and I learned a lot. You know, I really did. I learned a lot about shooting that film, and I just think, like, you know, I hope to see more of stuff like that, because I think that we don't have enough content for our culture, you know, and that's been kind of like the conversation that I've been having a lot in these panels, and I've done a lot of, you know, Latinx or Latinx, I don't know how to say it, but I've been doing a lot of those panels, and, you know, the conversations have just been like, you know, there are no Afro-Latino content. There's no stars, or there's just no opportunity for us to get it. And for someone like John Singleton to see that at that time, you know, like, I think we shot that in like 2007, you know, and or 2006, and then it came out in 2007. So, like, it was way ahead of its time, and, you know, I just so grateful for that moment, and, you know, it was a big learning experience, and, man, what else can I say? It was crazy, you know. We shot a lot. We shot a lot in Puerto Rico. We shot a bunch of stuff in New York, and it was John Singleton there the whole step of the way to make sure that we captured this film the best way possible, you know. And yeah, I mean, it was just great, you know.
That's cool. I know. I still watch that movie plenty of times.
Just the other day.
Yeah, just the other day. I have my baby here. I just had a baby just now.
Oh,
so I have my fiance here, my baby.
Congratulations! Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Baby. Is that Mom Dukes? Is that
No,
Mom?
that's my fiance.
Hi, what's up, man?
What's
How you
up,
doing?
man? Good.
Congratulations on the baby. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So good.
Well, thank you for being here with us and answering, you know, questions that we have for you.
No, of course. Thank you for, you know, hanging out, and, you know, you're probably not getting enough sleep anyway, so you might as well get them.
Actually, no, she's a good baby, actually.
Oh, yeah?
So everything went smooth, natural birth, everything. I was like, thank you, God. Everything has been awesome.
I saw the whole thing.
See, you stronger than me. 'Cause I wasn't dipping down there. My wife was like, just hold my hand. Oh.
I saw the white lights.
That's dope. No, I was like, babe, I'm not going down there. Let the doctor stay there. I'm right here. I got you. Good. But it's all my tape too.
Cool.
Thank you. My pleasure. God bless you. God bless the baby.
Likewise, God bless.
And send my love to Mom.
She's actually in the Zoom.
She's in the Zoom where? Right here?
Vivian, yes.
Vivian. What's up, Vivian?
We've just unmuted you, Vivian, so you can talk now as well.
Hi,
everyone. Hi, Rick. God bless you. Brooklyn in the house.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Vivian, now that you... Oh, I was just going to say, you could... Vivian, sorry, Rick. I was just going to say, Vivian, you might as well ask your question while you're unmuted.
Okay, well, my question was, and it was interesting, you're into the music, right? And you love music. So I had three. So one of them was, what is your motivational music for the day to get you going, you know, especially in the pandemic? Anything or just a genre, something that gets you going?
Well, it depends
Motivated.
It depends how I'm feeling. Like I remember a friend of mine saying, like, you know, it's a good idea to go with worship music first in the morning, just to kind of like get that out the way. Not in terms of like, let's get it out the way, but more like let's lead the day with that. You know what I mean? To get that affirmation in there, you know, and then you can listen to anything else you want. But although sometimes I just want to go straight into something hard, you know, or something fun, you know. So sometimes I'll lead with like, I don't know, you know, like a Fred Hammond song or whatever, like, you know, You Are the Living Word or something like that, just some praise music. And then I'll probably jump into something with Jay-Z, because I'm a big Jay-Z fan. I'm a Brooklyn.
All right.
So I'll do a Jay-Z track to get my, so when I'm doing my errands, you know, I'll just have like, I'll have Jay-Z to, you know, to kind of get me right. And then, And then after that, or Nas, you know, I'm just such a New York kid, so I'll
Gotta
do that.
have that.
I have Nas, okay, you know. So then I'll do that, you know. I'll get my praise in, and then I'm off to listening to something to get me going, you know. And I usually, when I work out, I'm definitely putting in a mix. I'll create my own mix though. But sometimes I don't really like the mixes that I hear from like iTunes or Spotify, so I'll put together something, you know, that makes me feel like I'm, you know, back home, or something that makes me feel like, you know, I'm 16 again. So
That's what's up. That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's amazing. You put God first, praise music. I want to give you a virtue hug. Represent.
I'll take it.
That's your family, okay? Oh,
Thank
that's
you
good.
so much. Likewise.
All right, that's
Who's this?
very impressive. You put that worship music first. This is our Nirvana sister. This is Ambelicia, my other daughter.
Hi. Love it. Love it. God bless. God bless. God bless. Nice.
Thank you, Vivian.
Are you in Miami too?
I'm actually in New Jersey.
Okay. Right. So Jersey, and you're in Miami. Nirvana's in Miami. Got it. Love it. Nice. And how long you been in Jersey? So is everybody from the East Coast?
No.
We're born in Brooklyn.
Nice.
We were born in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
No way.
I've been here 5 years.
No way.
Nia's from Brooklyn Hospital. Nirvana was born in Brooklyn Hospital.
No way. I'm from Bushwick too. That's amazing.
What hospital you were born?
Well, my
oh
mom
no, there's more questions.
No, she had me not in Brooklyn though. It was like New York Hospital, I want to say, in the city. Don't know why it was up
in the
there.
City, awesome.
Yeah, but not sure why. But hey, that's where I was. But I was born and raised in Bushwick.
That's what's up. We're from Knickerbocker and DeKalb.
Oh, you super close.
I don't know if you know that area.
Knickerbocker and Menahan.
Oh yes. All right, yes. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Virtue hug again. Virtue hug. Represent. This is awesome.
Thanks, Vivian.
Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, Vivian. Thanks for hanging.
So Rick, I've got another question for you. What has been your favorite, your greatest accomplishment so far?
Oh, just, you know, being a dad.
Yeah.
You know, I think being a dad and still being a husband, you know, I've been with my wife we started dating in 2003, and, you know, we were together, I guess going on, 17 years now, and just surviving through my 20s, through my 30s. I'm 41 now. You know, to me, that's my biggest accomplishment, is just still being a husband, you know, able to have my daughter. Like, that to me is like, okay, I'm doing stuff right, you know, just by maintaining that. Because to me, they're like everything to me. They keep me sane, you know, they give me purpose. I'm thankful for my career, but I realize like having them is the most important thing. And, you know, knowing what I've come from, you know, and seeing that, I'm just like, man, that's so great that I have them. So that's my greatest accomplishment. I'm not trying to be sappy. I'm trying to be real. Trying to be real.
Cool. So Rick, now we've got a question from Fearlessly Black. Hello.
Hi. How you feeling?
Oh my God, I am so excited to be here. My friend and roommate Alejandro was like, "Hey, it's gonna be a conversation with Rick," and I was like typing really fast, trying to get here. I'm good. How are you?
Where you zooming from?
I'm in LA.
You're in LA, nice. So you getting a really wet? Well, the sun's sort of coming out for us right now, right?
Yeah, sort of, but it's hot as hell in my apartment, so I'm happy for the gloom.
Okay. How you feeling? What's going on?
I've been good, you know, COVID and pandemic and things are crazy, but just trying to stay sane, just trying to, you know, keep like from afar, keep track
Yes.
of my family because my family is in Seattle. So
Oh.
I actually moved down here to be an actor. So all the things you were saying about acting, I'm like, yes. I wanna work with you. I wanna like.
Yes.
Oh,
Love
man.
it. Well, hopefully we
Yeah.
do that, right? Hopefully we
Yeah,
get to
I
work
hope so
with-
too.
I'm sure it will happen. You know, that's how these things happen. We're like, yeah, we met on a Zoom call. Now we're working together.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think my question that I had three. I kind of like pilot season's coming up and it's gonna be my first one, so I think I'm gonna change my question to that. Like,
Okay.
like any advice do you have? How did you survive your first pilot season? What's pilot season like for you now? All of that, but like in one question.
Sure, yeah. You know, there is no right way with this industry, right? You know, and I think you have an agent, right?
No, I'm
Okay.
brand new.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's no right way. So, you know, the way they set this industry up is interesting because it's always a catch-22. It's like you need work to get an agent, but you also need an agent to get work. So there's the issue. So I always felt like, and how I did it and how some other friends did it is like through school, right? School would like help you to like have the connections to agents to come see talent, and then they'll be like, oh, I like you, you know, let's start working together. Or some other friends would like do productions and be a part of plays and smaller production companies and repertoire companies that create projects that you can be a part of, so you can show them your work, you can and then you can send your headshot to an agent, say, hey, I'm performing here, come check me out. Maybe they will like what you do and then want to sign you. So there's no right way. You can also send your headshot to everyone. You know, you can start, you know, trying to get a commercial agent, maybe do some commercials. Like, there's just no right way to do it. You know, I think you just got to lead with your heart, be aggressive, you know, in terms of like how you want to do it. I would also send my stuff to casting directors. You know, I would seriously like take my headshot and send it off to them. You know, and you know, right now, you know, I think with everything that's happening in the world in terms of being Black and Latino in Hollywood, you know, right now the conversation has swung in our favor only because, you know, Hollywood understands how they have marginalized us so much. So I think, you know, it's important to capitalize in this moment to really get your face out there and to, you know, be a part of the conversation. But I would definitely try to get my headshot into casting directors. I would definitely try to get my headshot into like, you know, maybe not the listen, you send them off to all the agents. So you go to the big ones, you send it to the big ones, and you also send it to the not so big ones. But send it to them too, because then they can get you in the game. Maybe you can get yourself like, you know, a guest star on a TV show, and that'll get you going. That's how I got started. You know, I didn't get with a big agent. I got in with a small one. They sent me out on smaller stuff, and I started booking those things. And then, you know, slowly but surely, the auditions got bigger. So I think, you know, that's another route, you know, but I think you should knock on the door and don't stop knocking, you know, bang that thing down, you know, and I think finding creative ways to be an actor, because I think for me, and this is something that I always struggle with, is like, I had the opportunity to go to a conservatory and I was accepted into one in New York, but I didn't want to do it because I was already auditioning and getting work. So I just felt like, you know, no, I'm just gonna keep going this way. You know, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity of continuing to audition. However, I feel like getting the craft down is so important because, you know, when you're so prepared for the moment, it's gonna take you to places you never thought, it would, or it'll open doors you never thought it would, you know. So I think the important thing is to like continuously work on your craft, find ways to like be an actor, you know, if maybe joining a company here in LA, you know, and maybe, you know, performing monologues and doing short shows, you know, and short plays. And, you know, there's many repertory companies. I mean, obviously we're in COVID, right? So it's gonna be difficult to do that. So, but, you know, ultimately when things start to change, yes, we need to figure that out. So I think right now, get your headshot into the hands of these casting directors, Get your headshot into the hands of, you know, all these agencies. Definitely start at the top. Go to the big dogs. You never know, because God got a plan. You go there, then send it off to the smaller ones. See what happens. You know. Yeah, and I think, you know, I'm sure I'm missing some other possibilities on how to open the door, but for me, I think that's the most important thing. But I mean, yeah, work on your craft. Make sure you're still on top of that, you know, because I think once opportunity knocks, you got to be able to open the door and walk in and be prepared. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I got an acting studio. My acting studio just went online, so the past like 6 months or so, we've been doing stuff online. And my coach always says like, yeah, this is like the best way. Yeah. I'm
working. All right, so you ready? So you ready?
I'm scared, but I'm ready.
You need an opportunity. That's all. You just need the opportunity, and you will. It's gonna come. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna kill it. You know, and then you're like.
And your stuff is like super inspiring, and to see you on Arrow, it was like one of the most like amazing moments, because here it's like this superhero about this white man. You know, he has his things. Love Dollar Queen, right? But like to see like you and Diggle and like Dinah, and like it was just like it was just like representation on screen on a show that I actively watch, and I'm like, yeah, and hell yeah, I want to do this. I want to actually do it. And I started studying, and like you're an inspiration, and watching you work is a gift. And thank you so much for the work that you do.
Of course. I hope I was helpful. I'm in my head like trying to figure out other ways, but
absolutely.
I'm sorry if I didn't really hit a home run, but I just think crossing your T's and dotting your I's, you know what I mean? Just making sure you cover all your bases. Get creative, get creative, Who's to say you can't send, a monologue of you doing something and sending it off to a casting director or an agent? Right now, people are getting emails and stuff, figure out whose emails you can get, who you can send it to, and just, record yourself doing a dope ass monologue and send that out, upload it, just, there's no right or wrong way, man. Just act, figure it out, and then good things will happen.
Yeah, and right now I'm just like focusing on getting my process down and how to like script breakdown and all that stuff. And my coach is amazing and like coaching me through all that. And yeah, you said everything you said was perfect. And I think I just want to I don't want to take up too much time. I actually have a meeting with my friends to make videos for our reels, because we don't have any, because we're not working. So yeah, but I want to make sure everybody else gets to talk to you too. Thank you so much.
That's love. Listen, best of luck to you, and we're gonna work together, because you know how life is.
I'm gonna remind you of this moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember. Like, yo, we doing it. Remember that? That's gonna be crazy. They're gonna love it.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Thank you. Cool.
Yep.
So, Rick, our next person is calling or zooming in from the Philippines. So, Paul, Paul Noel. What's your question for Rick?
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? It's so cool to actually have this opportunity to Zoom with you, man. Because I was randomly scrolling through Facebook, and I was like, hey, do you want to chat with Rick Gonzalez? And I was like, hold up. And it said that it was going to start on October 9th, and I was thinking, hold up, this is so perfect, because my birthday is on October 9th.
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday.
Thanks, man. That means a lot to hear from you. It actually happened the day before. I had to recheck the time. So today, my birthday actually happened yesterday. Yeah. So
you can say happy birthday anyway.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday. Yeah, man. Anyway, thank you. This is probably one of the best gifts. I kept telling my parents, I kept telling everyone, hey guys, this is the best gift. If I'm ever gonna be able to talk to you.
Love it. Here we are, man. Here we are. And you got the wild dog in the back. I love it.
Yeah, I actually was thinking, wait, hold, I have a green screen, so might as well represent, you played such a great character in Arrow, and I was even yesterday I was watching, to get ready, I was watching a season 5 episode of Arrow, and I was like, oh my gosh, there he is, or just to get the hype up. like I just woke up like a couple hours ago just to get ready. Like I woke up 6 a.m. just to get ready for this, and like I turned on my PC, I got ready for the Zoom call. But it's great to be able to like hang out with you. I love how vocal you are, and with getting to know us. Like you don't meet a lot of people like that, so I think that's a really great thing about you. So my question is, yeah, man, thank you. But like my question is like, how did it feel being on the set of the crossovers? Because being with all those people, working with Grant Gustin, working with Melissa, working with them and being with them, learning from them. I think that would be a great opportunity for any actor to be part of. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, no, it was incredible, man. It was like to be a part. It was a moment as I took a photo. I was on set for my first crossover, and I took a photo because I walked in, and we know each other. I see all those guys all the time, and I think that one day we were in the Wave Rider, and I'm talking to Echo, I believe, and then I turn around, and I just see it's like seeing everybody for the first time, but everyone's in a costume. Everyone's standing right, kind of perfectly to me, and I'm just like, oh, holy moly, I don't have a camera on me right now. And I just see everybody, and it looked like like the cover of a really cool comic book, and I collected comic books as a kid. So I don't know, man, it was just that moment it hit me, like, this is huge. This is huge. Like I think the Arrowverse is going to mean so much more years to come because, and I'm sure television is going to get way more sophisticated with this technology and how, we're going to be able to show this kind of, superhero ability. But the storylines and like the costumes and the characters and the energy that we were able to bring, I mean, it feels so strongly like a comic book, and I was just kind of like floored by it in the moment. So I'm trying to illustrate to you like the vibe and the energy that I got when I was in that first, crossover, because it's a big deal. It's kind of like, I felt like I was in a comic book. I felt like I was in it. I was really like, a part of something special. And then I had this one scene with Melissa, who plays Supergirl, and Grant, playing Flash, and Wild Dog's being mean as always, I just I remember just doing the scene with them, and we call cut, and then we just go back to talking, and it's just like it was kind of like that moment of like where people wear the costumes at Disneyland, and you just kind of see them. You probably see like Goofy walking around, but sometimes you might see Goofy without the hat, you know what I mean? And he's just hanging out, probably having a soda, and so like we had that moment because like we break that wall so easily because you could get caught up in it, like we just in it, feeling that energy of the characters, and then you cut, and then we're like separated, we're different people again, and it just kind of brought it back to life. Like, this is so much fun. It's just so much fun, man. And I think for me, growing up as a kid, just being a comic book nerd, a gaming nerd, and someone who really cared about like, that entire universe, man, it was just a dream come true. And the fact that I never knew who Wild Dog was, like, I just felt like, what a great way to just kind of bring, a Latino energy into this world, because I just felt like the world needed it, and to be fair, that's what they wanted, and I was appreciative of, Greg Berlanti and James Bamford, the director, and a bunch of amazing cool people over there, or Mark Guggenheim, who felt like we need more representation on our show, and we want you to do your part to kind of like bring that color to the screen and bring that flavor. And so that was what it was about, man. It was just like mixing it up with the Flash and Supergirl, and just bringing that raw to them,
Cool. Thank you,
Yeah,
Rick.
like, Rick, I don't know if, I don't think anyone's mentioned this at all, but I like to call you out around reality because I watched your freestyle on Sway in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this guy's gonna flow like Wild Dog. Like, you watch him on Arrow, and then it's like weird seeing you on like Sway in the morning, like freestyle, because
Right.
literally, like, that's my thing. You literally, like, you love like seeing you doing like the suicide scene and Coach Carter. I've experienced that, like seeing you rap. Like I do that, like hearing you, that like you're such a really talented person that you're able to like one, portray a character that like represents a minority, like something that I want to do like someday. Like I really hope that someday, like I want to be able to represent the Filipinos or like the brown-skinned Asians, like that aren't really strongly represented in film or in TV shows. Like I want to be able to be their voice. So seeing you do that, you do that with Wild Dog, especially like you said, you didn't really hear about him. Like he's not really like a character that you know about. You were able to like make it your own and like take control of the character. Like I see you do that, and like you bring in your own energy and you bring in your charisma with playing the character. And I think that's like a big inspiration, especially to me. Like just watching your show every day, like catching up and being able to see a character, like, or see an actor play a character that you really relate to, or you're able to relate to. And it's such a great blessing to see people like you being a voice to a lot of the people that want to be heard. So this is like a huge blessing to be able to talk to you. Like I literally didn't think this was gonna happen. This is like a dream. This feels so surreal. Like,
man, thank you for hanging out with me.
Yeah,
man.
like I didn't. Yeah,
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday. Enjoy it. You know, I'm glad that we got the chance to talk and hang out. And,
this is so
and
cool.
I'm glad that you want to represent for your people, man. And that's a beautiful thing.
Cool.
So,
hey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rick, man. This is a blessing.
No problem, man.
Rick, I know you have to go very well now, but I was just wondering if you could take one more question, because then everybody would have been able to ask a question. So, Alejandra, you are the lucky last person to ask Rick a question.
Gracias a Dios.
How you doing? So good to see you.
It's great to see you. I've missed you. I've had the opportunity to meet you at Comic-Con.
Of course.
And
how you been?
So I'm gonna ask. I've been good. I'm in LA, and I'm gonna ask you one of my shorter questions, so I don't take up too much of your time. But you were mentioning music and how important it is. And I absolutely agree, and I love it. So I'm curious about who your top 5 favorite Latino artists are, specifically Latino. Like that makes the best music, and I'd love to know what your taste is.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, so I'm old school, so I'm like literally listening to like Fania records, you know, just listening to like, you know, Johnny Pacheco, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente. You know, I'm still listening to all these folks. I'm still listening to, but then, you know, like salsa wise, I still listen to Mark Anthony and Victor Manuel, and you know, obviously I still I listen to Bad Bunny. I love Bad Bunny. You know, who else? I mean, I like Balvin. I think he's dope. I think Maluma's dope. Who else?
Literally just listing all my favorites. So.
Yeah, not dope. Yeah, I listen to those guys because you know, that's our people. You know what I mean? So they killing it, and but I do tend to go the old school route and listen to some of the older stuff. You know, and I think that's just my mom in me, like everything that she's played as a kid, like, and that goes back to like I was saying before to you guys, like about getting into that mode or energy, or like. And when I run my errands, and it's like my breath of fresh air to like blast music and to get that jazz in me and get that energy in me, I always play some Spanish music and just feel like I'm, you know, 8 years old again, you know, back in my mom's house, and just the simpler times, when I was just in my underoos, doing crazy cartwheels and listening to salsa music, but can't dance salsa to save my life. And I hate my moms for that, because I'm like, how you gonna play the music and not teach me how to get busy? Like, you know how to do it, but I can't do it. And my wife just clowns me all the time. Like, how is it that you have no rhythm when it comes to Spanish music? How's that possible? I'm like, listen, I don't need that from you right now, okay? I'm trying to enjoy the music. I don't need that, So, yeah, I mean, it's a good time.
I love that.
It's good times. As our people, as our music, I love it. I'm vibing with it. So, yeah. Who's your favorite? Are you listening to Bunny and Balvin and them, huh?
Absolutely, but I also have like old school taste. But mine is more because I'm Mexican. Yes. I definitely listen to more what my family used to listen to. So I actually, when you talked about classic music, my favorite indulgence is going to boleros. So like Pedro Infante, Vicente Fernandez, and those kind of old school like crooning tunes. Yes. And I'm really in the mood for that. But I mean, I have an eclectic taste, so I absolutely vibe with, Karol G, Becky G, but Maluma, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is like my ultimate favorite. Yeah. But I also listen to a little bit of everything. So I absolutely love that you like mentioned Celia Cruz, because she has the best pop.
She's the greatest, man. She's the greatest. She is the best. Incredible.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Well, thank you.
So good to see you.
So grateful. Thank you.
Sending my love to you. I'm giving you a hug.
Hugs to you too. Absolutely love. I love everything you were talking about with everyone else, and the representation that you present. I mean, I just remember the first time I met you, I told you that that's what was so important to me, is to see more Latinos as heroes and not just as bad guys or villains. Like we deserve to see ourselves as people who are trying the best for others and who want to help. And I think you're just wonderful. So thank you, and I hope you have the best day.
Thank you. Nice.
Right, Rick. Hey, so our time is up with you. So thank you so much.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me. So much love to all of you guys. I send my love, my blessings, my prayers as well. I have all you guys in my prayers, and just, to tell you guys that, man, no matter how bad it gets out there, like, just know that, being with your loved ones, making the best decision possible for yourself, controlling your thoughts, and being yourself in a way that helps others is all that matters. Because regardless of how crazy things are out there, like, we can control what we can control in terms of who we are and how we think and how we treat others and how we love others, So being with y'all today just, signifies that, we got a lot of great people out there, you know what I mean? And so things are gonna be okay. It's just gonna get rocky, but that's life, right? So need the bad to go with the good. So I send my love to you guys, and, God bless you all.
I just also want to thank your fans, Rick, for joining us, and also,
Thank you for doing this, Belinda. So appreciative.
And also, I've been in communication with Lexy, your team, and she's amazing. So I want to shout out to her. And I've got my friends Karen and Shelly, who are behind the scenes helping this all tick over. So I need to send out a huge thank you to them. So they're in the background here. And also to the people who are watching this live, we've got a number of your fans who are watching this live on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
I will send everyone the link so you can watch this interview back. So Rick, I hope we can do this again sometime soon. And
absolutely, I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day, night, wherever you are, and take care.
Right. Peace and love, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Should I push end? End all. And then stop streaming.